Hello, everybody. This is Yashika Albert with Valley Area Agency on Aging, and I am blessed to be the president and CEO of a wonderful organization. I am here to you with another Sapphire sponsor second. This is one of the perks of being a Valley Area Agency on Aging Sapphire sponsor. And I want to introduce this handsome gentleman in the Valley blue shirt that I might add. If you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be with you today. My name is Greg Viener, and I work at Huntington Bank, and I serve as the Flint Market President at Huntington Bank.
Okay, well, welcome, Greg.
Thank you.
I first want to start off, and I said this before we started recording, that I definitely appreciate the partnership that we have with Huntington. You guys have been a good community partner, not only with sponsorships, but when dealing with other challenges as well. So I just want to tell you thank you, and we appreciate all that you do for the community.
Well, you are welcome, and I think I mentioned before, on behalf of all of our Huntington colleagues, we're thrilled with the partnership that we have with you, and really are proud of all the work that you're doing to help our seniors in the community.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we started off, since we're talking about partnerships, Huntington does a lot to support the community. You see the green Huntington logo almost every major community event, and some not major community events in Genesee County. So you've also been a longtime supporter of VAAA and our Senior Power Day as well. So why is supporting the community and seniors specifically important to Huntington?
Well, thanks. And by the way, thanks for noticing all the green Huntington banners that are up. That means a lot. You know, at Huntington, our purpose that we live by is to make people's lives better, to help businesses thrive, and to strengthen the communities that we serve. But putting that purpose into action and living it out really takes many different forms, including looking out for people. And I think seniors are an important part of our community. After all, every generation really stands on the accomplishments that previous generations that have gone before them. So we're grateful to our seniors for everything that they have contributed to our community, for the wisdom that they share, and really paving a way into the future for the rest of us. Reaching senior status, I think, is an honor. And after many years of working and taking care and helping build up younger generations, seniors get to step back and maybe even slow down a little bit. Although most of the seniors that I've been around really don't know what that slowdown means. They're active and engaged as ever. But you know, why we slow down, I think the pace of change really continues to accelerate, and it's hard to keep track of everything that's going on, especially with technology that is happening. And sadly, there's some really bad players out there who do their best to take advantage of people, especially using technology. And unfortunately, seniors are all too often that most often targeted group. So we try to look out for seniors, and we provide financial education classes on how to identify and prevent fraud or becoming a victim of fraud. And you know, really, seniors have worked too hard for their money, and we want to make sure that we're there to protect them.
So you talked about fraud, and we know, especially with technology, and a lot of seniors are not comfortable with technology. There are a lot of scams going on, financial scams going on. Can you tell me some of the financial scams that are prevalent right now and ways seniors can avoid them?
Yeah, you know, a lot of really smart people have fallen prey to these very sophisticated scams that are out there. And I mentioned seniors are really targeted. The opportunists that are out there seek people through phone calls, telemarketing, really promises of romance to exploit life savings that they have. The predators that are out there are really only after one thing, and that's your money. And the scammers out there trying to find even more and devious ways to take advantage every day. And there's a lot of scams that are out there that you mentioned. I'll just mention maybe a couple of them briefly here. We're in the middle of tax season right now as we record this. There's a lot of government imposter scams going on right now. This scam is really phone calls from people that pretend to either be from the IRS or Social Security, really demanding immediate payment of unpaid taxes and ask for personal information such as your Social Security number or Medicare benefits. And the phone number might even look legitimate. And typically they ask for your personal information to make a payment. There's the grandparent scam that's out there that my parents received a call on, and that grandparent scam has scammers that gather names and detail from your grandchildren's social media pages, and then they call pretending to be that child or grandchild and ask for money. There's usually an emergency that's involved, such as a car accident or a problem with the law. And they don't want anybody to find out, so they're posing as that grandchild. There's investment scams that are going on where a fraudster reaches out and congratulates the person for winning a lottery on a prize, and they may send a very real looking check, but what you don't realize is that it's fake until the bank rejects it. Now you're left covering the taxes. Along with that, I mentioned the investment side where somebody claims to be a financial expert to discuss exciting investment opportunities that are out there, and they promise really big returns, but only if you send them money in advance as well. And then there's really always the underlying check fraud that is still out there and prevalent, where thieves know how to steal checks from mailboxes that are out there, and then they often take those checks, change the amount and the person that it's payable to, or they may even take a digital picture. They're becoming very good at electronically digitizing these checks as well, so they can do more deposits and develop other checks as a result of that pictures as well. Those are a number, just a few of the number of scams that are out there. Let me say this, you had mentioned, are there ways to avoid this? And I think there's a few tips that maybe you could take away from this. And the first one is, unfortunately, we can't trust everyone. Yeah. I think we have a lot of people that are probably listening to this that have really good hearts. But the unfortunate thing is scammers are skilled liars who tell really plausible stories. They're also great salespeople as well, with really tempting offers. And they easily pinpoint vulnerabilities, appeal to emotions, fear, and maybe even loneliness as well. They quickly gain trust. They insist on secrecy. That's something that most of these fraudsters do as well. And then I call it, they show no mercy. They won't take no for an answer. They will keep you on the phone call as long as possible until they get you agree to be part of the fraud they're looking at. Number two, I think you really need to know the red flags of the scam. And the first red flag is the fraudster is requesting immediate action.
Urgent.
You have to do this now. It's urgent. You have to be on it. They also, as I mentioned before, they insist on being secret about this a lot of times. They want the money up front. Most businesses, all good businesses, don't require that money up front. And then they devise these hard to track payment mechanisms as well. So if things start sounding confusing, that's a red flag as well. I think you also, number three, would build your scam defenses. So almost like spidey senses, these are scam senses. If you don't recognize the number calling, don't answer it. It's okay. I know we all really want to oblige and answer the phone, but we all have caller ID now. And if you don't recognize that number, it's okay not to answer. Um, don't trust emails that ask for personal information.
Mhm.
Um, Tricksters are really good at making things look legitimate. But if they're asking for personal information, it's probably not good. Don't be rushed into any financial decision. As I mentioned earlier, refuse to send funds, dollars, money immediately.
Mhm.
There's no need for the urgency around this. Um, be suspicious of any situation that requires the money up front. If you get an email, be cautious about clicking any of the links
Yes, yes.
that are on there. There's all kinds of uh, back behind the scenes that link is attaching to your computer. So don't click on any of those. The IRS or the Social Security Administration is not going to contact you by phone. Um, One that I've worked with my parents in the past is set up a code word for your family members to use in a real emergency. So I mentioned that grandparent scam where somebody posing to be a grandchild. Set up a code word that can be used for that as well. Um, and then maybe number four, block the scammers. And there's ways to block a majority of the scammers. Again, they figure out ways to get around, but there's ways to block them. One of them is you can register with the National Do Not Call Registry at donotcall.gov. That is a website of the Federal Trade Commission. And that will help you limit the legitimate telemarketer calls that are coming in for you. You can also register at dmachoice.org to limit the advertising mail and marketing mail email that comes in to your account. And hopefully those two sites will make it easier for you to detect scams compared to the legitimate calls that are coming in. The one thing we always tell everyone, limit the amount of personal information you're putting on social media. Um, and and make sure your privacy accounts or privacy settings are set up as well. And then always use a good antivirus software on your computer. Norton is one of them. There's many out there, and you can do a Google list and find them, but make sure you have a good antivirus. And then five, the fifth one to kind of help you get, what do you do if you are scammed? Look, um, this happens to the best and brightest people that I mentioned. Don't
Mhm.
be embarrassed or afraid. Make sure you tell someone you trust what happened. Report the fraud to the local police and federal agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, and also notify your bank as well, especially if there's been a financial transaction that may have been initiated. Um, Reporting the scam to your bank as soon as possible can help limit any losses that might be occurring on your accounts as well. So that was a long laundry
No,
list
no, no, that's
for you, but a
perfect,
lot of information there that I wanted to share.
especially with the pretending to be a family member in trouble, and I'm glad you talked about the code word because with this AI information that they can literally make the voice sound like one of your family members.
Yeah.
And so, we tell all of the seniors, hang up the phone and call directly your grandson, your granddaughter, your son, your daughter to verify that, they're okay. Regardless if they tell you, don't hang up the phone, this is what's going on. You hang up and call, but the code word is perfect for that immediate response. If they can't give you that code word, then something is incorrect.
That's right.
So
That's
no,
right.
that's excellent information. And we always tell seniors too, if because you get those emails or those text messages, from Huntington, because I signed up for, scam alerts and, something might be wrong with your account, hang up and call. Don't click on any links. Don't do any of that stuff. Call the organization, whatever the organization is, directly with the phone number that works.
Absolutely. It's a great best practice. Again, I think everyone, get caught up in the emotion of what we're hearing and what we're trying to kind of organize in our thoughts. Just hang up, call back, don't click on the links, don't be baited into those things. It's easy to do though. And trust, get somebody that you trust, let them know what happened and kind of help you kind of back through it as well if you are a victim of the scam artist.
So as we age, we know that at some point or we may need some assistance with our finances, or we might need, a loved one to take it over for us. What do seniors need to protect their finances? Make their wishes clear to those who'll be managing the finances for them, and ensure that the helping them with their finances doesn't become burdensome while your needs are still getting met as a senior.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I would say the first thing is you really need to start planning before it becomes necessary. And that is so much easier said than done. That sounds like, Greg, yeah, that's a no-brainer. It doesn't happen. We have a lot of conversations with clients that it's beyond that point for it. So start planning before it becomes necessary. Talk to your family members or another trusted person that would be part of this plan as well. Give written consent for them to talk with your bankers or financial advisors or anyone else. And the best way to do that is to have an attorney prepare a power of attorney for you. And you want to make sure that you have all your wishes very clear to those parties, and understand that these conversations can be really difficult. They can become emotional. So again, planning for this in advance is key, because if you wait for something catastrophic to happen, it's probably too late at that point. I will tell you, knowing that your finances will be handled the way that you wanted by somebody that you trust will help you relax and enjoy all of the years yet to come for you. And having it in place early rather than later is a big piece of that.
Mm-hmm. Is there's some seniors, or not just, this isn't just for seniors, this is for anyone, because I know Huntington was helpful for me when I asked the question. So is there a means that any person can allow someone to access their account after they have passed? So I want to just plan, and if something happens to me, I want my daughter to be able to access my account if I pass away. Is there something that they can do? Is there a form? What's that process?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think we've all kind of been there and had that. There's a bit of a challenge to this. If the deceased person has an account without a joint owner or a beneficiary on it, the only way to access that account is through the estate or a personal representative with papers from the estate to gain access. This kind of goes back to that planning process, that you want to have a beneficiary or that power of attorney prepared in advance. Unfortunately, if a person is deceased without a joint owner or beneficiary, it has to go through the court process to get the required documentation to get access to that account. So plan early.
So there's a form, you said beneficiary. So because some seniors may not want to put someone as a joint person on their account. So you said a beneficiary. So what can they do to make someone a beneficiary of their Huntington account?
Well, in the event of a death, then there is a form that is completed to help them with that process. Again, talking to an attorney to help you prepare those documents and have that power of attorney in advance will be really helpful should that occur.
Yeah, I know I was able to, there's a form and I had to get it notarized. There's a form that was completed for all of the accounts that I have, where I said, you know, such and such happens to me, this person has access to my account. And I think they have to have a death certificate, proof of death, and all that other stuff. So, you know, it's good to know that your loved ones can at least access your account in the event that something happens to you. You know, you need the assistance in paying for services, and we all know how that stuff goes. So, and we know it's very, very complicated if you don't have that paperwork in place. Like you said beforehand, pre-planning is key.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It does become more complicated, and you know, we work with customers and clients all the time that we don't have the right documentation, and it becomes a very emotional time for them. They have the death that has happened, but then they're not able to gain access. So that pre-planning, working with your banker, working with your attorney to make sure you have all the appropriate paperwork set up for that will help your family members should that event occur.
Okay, so we talked about scams, we talked about pre-planning. What are some other services that Huntington offers that might be particularly helpful to seniors that they may not even know that Huntington offers?
Yeah, thanks. I mentioned we look out for people as kind of part of our purpose, and really Huntington's philosophy grew coming out of the Great Recession in 2010. Seems like a long time ago, 14 years ago. But Huntington listened to customers at that time and responded by developing some really bold and contrarian approach to business that was driven by the idea of doing the right thing for customers. And we started fair play banking, or the fair play banking philosophy, I should say, that included some really unique approaches to customers that gave them features like 24-hour grace. If you overdraw your account, you have 24 hours to deposit the funds before you hit with fees. Really bold at the time. Nobody was doing it. Huntington was one of the first to do it. Ask-free checking, which meant there were no fees, along with a lot of other options designed to look out for people's financial well-being. And we really continue to build on that as the foundation for new products and services that we offer today. We went through the pandemic and continued to listen to our customers and proactively again look out for them by some new products that are out there, and these would help seniors as well. And that's why I mentioned these. For example, we have standby cash now. So standby cash is where Huntington customers can qualify for a digital only $100 to $1,000 line of credit based primarily on their checking deposit history, not their credit score. You don't have to come in to a branch and sign up for it and sign documents for a loan paper. This is just based on your checking account history. And the ask for that, if you draw on that line of credit from $100 to $1,000, is you just pay it back over 3 months, and there's no interest. And it's absolutely free to set up. You can set up automatic payments with that as well to pay back. Otherwise, there is a 1% monthly interest rate charge that applies to the outstanding balances if you go over 3 months. This helps people in those critical times where they may be balancing a payment coming in, may have a flat tire, may have something to do with their housing, and just need that extra $200 or $300. If you're a Huntington customer, have a checking account based on your history, you qualify for standby cash, and you can use that to kind of get through that time period. We've also continued to modify our 24-hour grace that I mentioned a bit now as well. So Huntington will now pay returned items and waive any return fees if the customer deposits or transfers enough to cover the amount of the return item, plus any other charges that post within that 24-hour period. So again, we know that everybody is kind of sometimes working from paycheck or deposit to deposit, and sometimes those happen. We don't think you should be penalized if it's just a mistake that you made or we're waiting for those dollars to come in. So we'll return any fee that's been charged to you within that 24-hour grace period. Those are a couple of the ways that we're doing it. You know, we're always looking for opportunities to reach seniors in the senior centers and other places to help provide this more of a face-to-face. We do a lot of financial literacy with our seniors as well. We have a whole team that loves to come out, talk to our seniors, share some of these scams that I mentioned and things that we're hearing, share some tips on how to prevent those scams from happening to you, and just help you be better prepared and financially prepared for anything that might come your way as well.
Okay, final question.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Huntington is very, very active in the community, but why Senior Power Day? We know, you know, there's at least at minimum 1,000 seniors that come out to Senior Power Day every year. But why have you partnered with us on an ongoing basis for Senior Power Day?
Well, thank you. So the first thing I would say is because it's the right thing to do. That would be number one. But maybe I would go back to where we started in living out our purpose of helping make people's lives better, helping the businesses thrive, and to make our community stronger. Seniors are an important part of our community. And I can't think of another place that we wouldn't want to be to help our community than with our seniors and to help make our seniors stronger. And that's why we love being part of Senior Power Day and working with Valley Area Agency on Aging as well.
Well, we definitely appreciate everything that you do for not only the seniors in Valley, but for the community as well. We definitely appreciate your presence. And so I just want to tell you thank you, appreciate you, and thank you for taking the time to just give this important information to the community.
Thank you very much. Great being with you today, and thanks for all you do.